Don't like Biden's politically hijacked education? There is another way forward. That's the headline. Oklahoma Public Instruction Superintendent Ryan Walters wrote it, and he joins me now. Sir, you're calling for a return to our roots in the education system. Do you want to go straight back to Christianity being taught in our schools?
Right. What we've seen is the Biden administration and the teachers union force a state religion in our schools. It's secularism, it's atheism, it's wokeism. And what they've done is they've pushed faith in any capacity out of our schools. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, no, faith played a major role in the founding of this country. Just read the Declaration of Independence, nature and nature's God. Just look at what the founders said about this country. Faith played an instrumental role in making this the greatest country in the history of the world. And instead of allowing Biden and the unions to inject their ideology through graphic pornography like genderqueer and flamer, we want the Constitution, we want the Bible in our schools where kids understand our nation's history and what has made this country great.
So you actually want to not put the Bible in schools, but teach from the Bible in schools, which is something which I think the Supreme Court ruled against many, many years ago.
Well, yes, sir, and we need to take a look at this. The reality is the Bible is a foundational document in our country's history. Read the founders, read their letters, listen to what these men and women said about why founding a country with the freedom of religion, the free exercise of religion was so important. It came out of the First Great Awakening. How do you teach kids about the founders without an understanding of biblical principles, without an understanding of the role that faith played in society? And what the left has tried to do with their woke ideology is say, no, you can never mention faith. Take all mentions of the Bible, of God, out of our history, and so the kids are left with a lack of an understanding of, well, what is great about this country? Why did people die for this country? Try explaining to young people why folks, the greatest generation, stormed the beaches of Normandy if you don't explain to them that they believe that your rights came from God and they believed in protecting those rights.
Have you started doing this in Oklahoma schools? And if so, what's the reaction?
Yeah, we are doing a deep dive right now into how do we ensure in our curriculum we have the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, biblical references, and so we are rolling that out. We've heard from a lot of educators around the state that are very excited. They want to teach our history. They want to make sure this is going on. They have been intimidated by a teachers union that they know if they speak out on these type of issues, they're going to be hammered. They know that the federal government is pushing all of these grants and other monies into our schools to try to undermine these efforts rather than say, hey, we want our kids to know our history. And so we've got a bunch of excited folks that are ready for this. We hear from parents all over the state that say, listen, we want our kids to have an appreciation for this country like my generation had, like the generation before that. And we want to make sure it's the most inspiring story our kids can learn in our schools. This country was great because of the individuals that helped found it.
Republicans across the country are advocating for school choice. Oklahoma passed a school choice bill in May. What's the reaction from parents and teachers in Oklahoma?
Oh, we're elated. I'm hearing from parents every day that are just so excited that now they get to send the kid to the school of their choice. And what you're going to see from this is, guess what? The free market works. When you start having parents, not only do they get to align their child to the best school that meets their needs, you're also going to have schools respond. Schools are going to get better. We know this story because it's worked in every other sector of the business community. It will work in our education system. It's time we lean in on free market principles so that we can get out of this low ranking that we have as a state and as a country in education and getting back to excelling.
Sir, I think you're preaching to the choir for many of our viewers. Ryan Walters, thank you very much for joining us, sir. We appreciate it. Love to have you come back, too. Thanks, sir.